He was live on TikTok. I mean, not on TikTok. What's the other one? Twitch. Yeah.
Oh, you're not in frame, my guy.
Cool.
Come on.
He's taking a break.
Está que hacer la entrevista, porque ¿sabes? Estaba preguntando a otra gente que están afuera y ni es como que entre nosotros, ¿me sigues? Eso es como que...
Despacito, por favor. Please. I don't understand. No, I was just always in the temples. The church was scary.
Hold on. What do you mean they let you choose between temple and church? What's the difference?
They let me go. They let me.
Oh, like American church?
I went.
With who?
A van would pick us up.
You were just like, fuck this religion. I'm going to the American religion.
Well, I was a kid. I didn't understand religion yet. Like.
Why did they pick you up?
It was like, okay. So at the time I was living in the trailer park, so a van would come to the trailer park and pick all the kids up for like Sunday church.
Oh, and you were just like, there's something to do.
Yeah, I want to make friends.
Okay, you don't gotta make it sound sad, bro. Good for you, though.
No, but it was interesting to learn like some of the stories. Like I learned about like Noah's Ark and about how he came out the cave. I mean, it's just like a lot of stories. Yeah, it was like a lot of like children's stories. That's what they would like show it as like animation.
Yeah, I mean that's
Thanks.
pretty much what it is.
Slide.
And in Temple, they take it to a whole other level of seriousness.
The Buddhist temple
Mm-hmm.
where they make you do meditate.
Hello.
As soon as you walk in the temple, you have to take your shoes off. Everybody's barefooted and everything's like matted. It's like a like yarn, not yarn. I wouldn't say yarn, like plastic. It's like weave. Yeah, plastic weaved mats, and you just you know you smell a lot of incense. It's a very like safe spot.
Is it peaceful?
Yeah, it's very peaceful. Yeah.
You ever been, Paul?
A Buddhist temple?
Hair Buddhist temple.
No, because it's in Vietnam, right?
Yeah, like the one.
Oh, what the fuck?
No. The
You said they make you shoes. Of course you couldn't go to that one if it's in Vietnam.
No, it's not that one. I used to go to one in Columbus here, but the one that would always
Never
hold the
been.
ceremony,
What?
ended up passing away.
Oh, damn.
But when we were going, my grandparents. So that's why we were.
Yeah, Buddhism is cool because it's not a religion really. It's just be cool, you know.
Well, I said I know, like I know. I don't know shit. I know about the one my mom be doing.
It's still the same. They do that praying stuff, which I don't know if that's too much or whatnot.
And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah, but
She fucking was like,
it's the idea of just doing good and living a good life and whatnot. Whereas Christianity is you got to worship this God, and only through this God you can get through heaven. You know,
or you're gonna hell.
or you go to hell. That's the big one. Like if hell didn't exist, Christianity wouldn't exist. I'm thinking, because the fear of going to a place of punishment and eternal torment is what actually keeps you like being faithful to this religion. You know what I'm saying?
It's also a getaway.
And the hell, you know, it was created by Dante, and before that there wasn't a hell, a depicted hell like it is now, like the fire and the 9 levels of hell. Bullshit. So that's what I'm saying. Like Buddhism is like, it's not a religion. It's just like if you followed Buddhism, you would be a good person, because it's just treat others well, and enlightenment. It's actually just like achieving a mental
Treat everything.
level where you're just a good person to the earth, to your people around you, everybody around you, and treating yourself as well. And it's obviously like that sounds very good. Everybody would go about that. So I don't know.
Christianity is like you say, it's more like do this, or you literally gonna burn forever.
Bro, there's so many clauses too. Like
What do you mean?
anything can send you to freaking hell in Christianity. Almost anything.
What do you mean?
Then how come?
I mean, there's like
There's
10
this-
commandments.
There's 10 commandments, which are like the base, but there's so many other like little, like to be a perfect Christian, you will have to be like a saint in your life.
Yeah, but to at least what I was taught was it's like as long as you kind of follow the commands, you pretty much good.
Those 10 commandments.
Yeah, the thing is that the commandments are fucking hard, bro. Like you can't even have sex, bro. Like what
You
the
can't
fuck?
have sex. You can't indulge in food. You can't.
Oh,
No, I don't think food is
Yeah,
the commandment
Yes, bro. That's one of
in
them.
the actual commandment.
Yeah, you can't be a glutton.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't be a glutton.
yeah.
can't-
So you can be fucking. So literally, bro, being fat is literally against fucking God, bro.
You can't.
And
you
like
can't-
people don't say that. Isn't that crazy? I just thought about that.
Mhm. You can't have vicio. How do you say that?
Thickness.
Man, I'm gonna get canceled. I can't believe I just said that in the air. Fuck.
I mean, I think that's what our generation is all
I'm
about.
thinking like I'm fucking just talking to you guys for real.
Yeah, if you don't see yourself on the camera,
You
come
just
on,
talk.
introduce it. Algo.
Yeah.
But wait, what about cereal? Like
Cereal?
I don't. Serial killers when they use it as a cover up, they go every Sunday, but during the week.
Oh, she's talking about like Catholic.
How is
As-
that a fucking cover?
Yeah, well, Catholic
Are you serious?
religion, like you can do all the things, but on Sunday, if you confess to the Father, you're like free of sin.
Yeah.
You've been
Bro.
forgiven. Isn't that the biggest loophole?
All right.
Bro.
I'm sorry to all the Christian people. I was raised a Christian, but I have a feeling that confession shit, bro.
Why is it on game?
I have a feeling that confession thing. So, do you know how confession works? For you, for you two, you guys know how confessions work in Christian?
Oh, they sit in the booth.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not
yeah,
a
but
phone
that's kind of like in the old days. It doesn't in real life. They don't really do it in the booth. It's more like you just take a walk with the priest now.
Okay.
The really classic ones, they still
Yeah.
have the booth.
Yeah, so like, and if you're watching like a TV show and they want to make it super dramatic in like an older school church, you know, they're gonna have like the, you know, like the little screen. But anyways, I have a feeling, bro, that part of that is because there was some horny priest that wanted to hear like, no, because it really be like that. They'd be like asking women like, oh, you cheated on your husband, you have to tell me everything that happened, or you're not forbidden.
No.
That's literally how it is. Like you have
It's a
to
double
confess
camera.
to everything. Don't fucking move it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's not like before. It's different now.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, I hear you. So what are you saying? Like they just get like
No, I have a feeling that that's kind of
the gossip. They really enjoy it. Although you know how all the statistics are that the priests be like touching all these kids, man. And
well, I don't know if that's all the statistics.
Bro, there's like it's so
Okay,
high.
okay.
It is so high.
Okay, but what I get what I mean.
It's a
by that.
stereotypical.
There's
stereotype
it's
right
definitely a stereotype. Definitely happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when you said the statistics, I kind of go to thinking like
Okay,
statistically speaking, they're more likely to do it than not to do it. Like yeah, so
Okay.
obviously there's yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Very technical.
who's
I
more
understand.
known than them for doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
like
Exactly.
yeah. So,
So,
but yeah, I have a feeling that that's part of the reason that they make that shit up, bro. Because they wanted to hear like all the bad shit, like, oh yeah, tell. Because why can't you just tell them like, hey, you know, I did some bad stuff,
and just leave it at
and just leave it at that. No, they want to know all the details, and if you don't give the details, you're not forgiven.
And as soon as you do,
You ever sing
just
You ever seen those Dominican shows, bro? That Titi Mundati and shit. When they were confessing, bro. The priests always want to hear all the horny stories, bro.
I remember Ramon Pozo.
Yeah, they always be there listening to like,
¿Y cómo
Father,
fue?
I've been so bad. I've been so bad.
What have you done, my daughter?
Yeah.
Oh my. You traumatized her. Now she never coming back
Who?
on the podcast.
Who?
Why? What?
It's being recorded. I'll tell you later.
Oh, I guess religion
I
is.
traumatized him?
I think religion is a touchy subject for
Yeah,
some
you never
people.
talk about religion or politics
Well,
in a business.
but this is not a business. This is just a conversation.
Nothing you were saying.
The
was-
fuck? You think we have rules here?
It's very touchy.
No, here there's there's no rules
like,
here.
Nothing you were saying was correct.
Who?
It's like yourself look really like.
Okay, give it,
Alright, bro, go
give
ahead,
it, give it to,
speak
give
up.
it to, give it to.
This is
to-
a- this is a
I'm
com-
not gonna be put on the internet with this shit. Like Dante's Inferno is a fucking poem, and you're trying to make that into like religion. Like, bro, Dante's Inferno is a poem. It's a drama. It's based on an Italian book. You're like,
Yeah, in the church in the.
Hey, I didn't
and-
talk about Dante.
I did. I did.
It's not even a thing. Like, it's like it's a
The Catholic Church integrated into the Bible.
It's a. It's
Yeah, Dante
drama.
was hired by the Catholic Church to create the hell that.
I don't know about none of this.
I know about this, but for a fact that we can look it up. It was created for the church, and it was integrated into the Bible.
I get it, but then even like talking about commandment, you didn't say any commandment. Talking about the like 7 deadly sins, like gluttony, because of like overexaltation,
Yeah, but those are
overabundance of things.
those are the
That's
things,
what
or
the
am I
saying
wrong
goes.
about?
That's
Yeah.
what the saying goes. Too much of anything is bad. Too much eating, overeating, becoming gluttonous. Like,
Right.
It's like just traits of like behavior.
Yeah, those are the 10 Commandments, aren't they?
No.
Why? Which are the 10 Commandments then?
We're talking about like sexual. That's not even the commandment.
There's the one that
Yeah,
don't-
there's one that there's literally a commandment that said no for Nicaragua. That's literally
yeah,
like
they
a-
don't
that's
have
one of
sex.
them.
You won't have sex without marriage.
The first, I even remember
Don't
the
kill.
order of them.
Don't kill
The first one is you're gonna love God above
above everybody
everything.
else.
That's the main
Yeah,
one.
that's number
The
one.
second one is you gotta respect your parents, and like you're never gonna disrespect your parents no matter what. That's the second one, I think.
Just look at.
Yeah, we can look.
I'm just trying to remember because I remember like I'm just trying to see if I remember.
There's don't kill. There's the fornication.
No sabe, pues búscalo primero y.
No, yeah, I was working out of memory. I'm pretty sure about that. We can look it up. I mean, like, memory fails too, you know. But be part of the conversation, bro. It's just a conversation.
O hace un guess y te va a hablar con otra gente de atrás y como que aquí entonces.
Porque que no sé, loco, se integra.
Sigue platicando. Que no trae un guest y habla con fulano, fulana y yo ahí como que, ok, ¿quién más?
Loco, pero no te ofenda, loco. Si,
No me ofenda que.
Gabriel está ofendido, loco.
No, que joder.
Gabriel va a hacer un stormy now,
esto,
loco.
esto no dice como like so professional, bro. This is just a.
I didn't even want to talk at all. Honestly, I was just talking because nobody else was saying nothing. I didn't know you guys had if you guys had a topic that he was gonna interview you on. Like, I was literally just talking just to fucking say something.
No, there was no topic either. It was no matter como like we wanted
Yeah.
to have a conversation.
I would much rather you have a topic and like you guys actually, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to do like an interview thing, like that would be dope.
Yeah. Anyway, supone when you I'm very curious about the 10 Commandments. I know I'm forgetting like at least half of them.
Okay, so this one is in English, so first time reading it in English.
You shall have no other gods before me. Yeah. You should
What the
not.
fuck is the one about parents?
You should not make idols. Yeah, I remember that one because nobody above him. You should not take the name of the Lord in vain. I remember that. Remember the Sabbath, the seventh. Is it what they want to say?
Sabbath day, son.
Sabbath. Okay, it's to keep it holy. Yeah, so I guess you got to go to church on Sunday. Honor your father and your mother. You should not murder. You should not commit adultery. So you should not, you should not steal. You should not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet.
Bro, why are these so much nicer in English?
Yeah, they're different. Yeah,
Like in Spanish, they literally were like, "You can have sex until you get married," and shit. And look, I'm gonna look it up.
yeah, that's the thing about also.
Or maybe that's just what the nuns were telling me in school.
Well, I remember they were much bolder when I was growing up. It seemed like a parent was just telling you what to do. You will not have sex well until you're not married. You will not amarás a Dios sobre todas las cosas.
Everybody kind of changes it, because look, here they change it to no cometerás actos impuros, like you won't do anything
Impure.
impure. Like that could mean so many things.
Por eso no te mandamientos en la Biblia. All right, they're worded in a different matter.
Why is there only one list? And in here he says you won't commit adultery. I remember when we were learning, it says no fornicarás, because I remember that kids we had to ask what that even meant.
I was about to say the same thing. I didn't know what that word. I learned that
I
question.
literally remember I learned that from the Bible because I never heard it so
And
proper like that.
And I went to a traditional Catholic church, like all the bells and whistles and like
Yeah,
very classic.
yeah. Some with me. Well, I went to Catholic school, so they made me go to church.
Yeah, I went
But,
to Sunday school. I remember I had to walk on my day off. I had to go.
I had to do my first
2
communion.
hours. Yeah, first communion. I didn't.
That's when I
finish.
had my first confession too.
I never finished mine, but I almost did. We moved. That's why I didn't finish.
Yeah. And that's kind of how it was when I had my first confession too. I had to take a walk with the priest and tell him, and I was supposed to tell him everything bad I ever did in my life. I mean, I was only 10, but still, like.
Yeah. Those are things like really engrave something in your mind, right? Because those are like very strong rules to live by.
Yeah.
And you're such a small kid and with all these urges as a young kid or whatever. And you're like, oh my God, if I do anything wrong, I'm probably going to go to a bad place.
Bro, they try to make it so serious that it kind of became a joke. I remember at my school. Not like it became a joke, like it was serious still, but something happened. I remember when we did our first communion, and it was that to do the first communion, you have to be confessed, right?
Yes, I remember.
That's the reason that we first, like, all of us confessed the first time. So before, when we were like in line, we were all getting confessed one day, right? And then the next day we were coming to do the communion, right? And the whole point of confessing is that you confess to like every sin that you have done. That's bad. And especially when you're like, at that time I was 10, so like the words that you really do is like say bad words and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe if you steal something, I guess. So you haven't really done something like super bad, but they still make you confess to it or whatever. Then the next day you do the first communion. And I remember we were all like 10 years old when they were doing the confessions, and they were doing my class and then the other class, the A. If you, I don't know, it works different over there. You have different classrooms, and it's kind of how it works. But anyways, you have all the students go through like two priests that were doing everybody's confession. So when somebody was doing a confession and telling them everything bad they did, the other kids were like playing basketball.
Okay.
When that kid got done, he went back to playing basketball, and then another kid went to do the confession.
Right. It was my turn. Okay. Yeah.
One of the kids was cursing, bro. And one of the teachers made him go do the confession again because he cursed.
Wait. So he had just confessed himself, came outside to play basketball. He was cursing because he didn't like her or something.
And like one of the teachers told him he had to confess himself again. And then everybody just kept playing basketball, bro, and everybody kept cursing. And then
just being little rebels,
bro. And then everybody was back, bro. And I even remember that the priests, for some reason, they were Haitian. You know how Haiti is next to that, and I don't know if the church that they went to, they just had a bunch of Haitians in that church or whatever. when they got the priest for their confessions. But yeah, they were Haitians, and that's the one thing I remember, that they got like mad because then people like you started taking it like as a joke, like, oh, he cursed, now he has to confess again.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, now that you mentioned about the Haitians, my priest was a Haitian.
he was too.
Yeah. Which church did you go to?
Man, that was in school. I'm telling you, that was a church that was inside of the school. It was Colegio Cardenal Sancha
Okay, no.
in Santo Domingo.
Yo fui one in Haina, and if I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's very nice, like very traditional. It has all the
Oh, my funny.
trim
fucking
work, all the all the mirrors with the. I don't
What's
know
it called?
It's in Haina. I guess por el in vivienda. Man, that it was very traditional, very nice, and they were very, very strict.
Catholic.
Catholic, 100%.
That was
Catholic.
before your mom was
Yeah,
evangelical.
yeah, and that was way before when I was 10-ish, I guess. I'm guessing my age back in those times, but all the bells and whistles, all the robes, the gold chain. The priest will have that big gold chain. Always have two guys standing by him with the little smoky thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Los monaguillos, los monaguillos.
Monaguillo, yeah.
Robel era monaguillo.
I always want to review those kids look cool too because they had like some bling to them. They always have a lot of clothes, and like my mom was like, "You can be one of them if you wanted to."
My friend Robert that you met in the yard, bro. He used
Yeah,
to be
remember
monaguillo,
Robert?
bro. And that was the funniest when your friend that you knew was Rache was a monaguillo. And he tried to act like all like a saint right next to the priest, bro.
On Sunday.
On Sunday.
Oh man, that stuff is funny. Really just funny.
And you're like, I know he now over there trying to act like
He a saint. Man, I would be so tired those Sunday mornings, cause it would be early in the morning. I don't know. To me, it seemed like so early. As a kid, going into school on Sunday, homework on Saturdays, and then the only day off, you gotta go to church. No, but it was nice. I guess at the end of the day, the really nice thing about it, after I woke up because it was pretty early in the morning, so I was always sleepy. But at the end of the day, it was like you felt good because you went when you left and everything was done, because it was a nice ceremony. Everybody at the end, when church is done and everybody just hugs themselves like giving the peace. No, but that's a chant. But like when everything's done, tú le das las gracias.
Yeah.
And peace.
I know exactly what you're talking
and
about.
you would shake hands with strangers, and like it felt like a community in there at that moment, and it felt great. Like everybody was like very solid, giving you firm handshakes. And then when you left,
Community.
yeah, it was a very nice community feeling at that moment. And like
that is true.
And the whole neighborhood would go. I remember when everybody left, nobody drove, so everybody like walked home.
Yeah.
And so like you would see everybody just going to their houses and big.
You ever went
quantities.
to the church in the church?
The big one in the
Villa Carmen.
Villa Carmen. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but I didn't went to that one.
I used to go to that one. I went to that one a few times with that. That's it. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of that because every church you went to in the DR is kind of like that. But yeah, most people just walk to church.
Yeah,
Because where the fuck
you're in the community. You're not going that far.
Unless you're like Poppy or something, you don't really go to a church that you gotta drive to.
Yeah.
Usually you go to the church that's in your community
you were
already.
walking, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
And it's true, bro, that when they did La Paz, like, you were kind of forced to, like, hug random people. And as weird as that sounds for Americans, it did kind of make you form community. Yeah.
And I think that's the good thing about religion. It's those type of bonds, right? And
Yeah, because
how it keeps the community together. And be as it may, that is something that religion will always have as a plus to
the
it.
collective.
In the collective, like it will be like a nice bonding agent for the whole community, and everybody who's going there is actually going to better themselves in some way or whatnot. or
Yeah.
at least with the same mindset of doing good or doing good to themselves or bettering themselves and whatnot. So those are good aspects about it, and and that I do respect a lot. Like my mom is now evangelical, and I never try. I used to like always. She would always try to convert me, and I always like fight her back. But I don't believe in this because this and this and that. But I never try like to bring down her religious beliefs, just because I know in some sense it helps her to be who she is.
Bro,
And
especially for your mom, because that's a lot of her social
yes,
life.
yeah, and like
Shit,
her
for most
friends,
people.
yeah, her friends, her whole community.
Actually, for
bonds.
older people,
Mhm.
that's usually because look at Tete now that she's in the Buddhism. We were talking about that earlier.
Mhm.
Now that's her community of like friends and stuff.
Yeah. I remember I went to one of her meetings, and
Yeah,
she was like, she had so many friends. So many friends. Like everybody knew she spoke. She stopped to speak with them for a while, like
yeah.
hours of conversation. I'm like, oh, that's good. At least older people having those type of bonds. Is
Yeah,
especially when you get old, right? Because those your friends, I'm guessing, will fade away because of age or distance
Yeah.
and whatnot, right?
and they probably go to live with their families
Or retirement homes and
Yeah.
whatnot. So
yeah.
that's something to definitely
That's
props to
that's
it.
the stuff that people keep talking about that we keep losing more, like the collective stuff.
Mhm.
Everything
Yeah.
nowadays is more individual.
Yeah, if you think about it, a world without religion will lose a lot. Will lose all those
Yeah.
because what replaces it? What replaces those type of bonds or those type?
You can only replace it. I don't fucking know.
I
Bro.
don't think
I know what replaces it.
What does? Because social media
Like,
doesn't do that.
Online chats and stuff
No,
like that.
it's not the same. Like, think about it, right? Online chats, you do a FaceTime, but you do it with one individual. It's
Well, I'm not
it's-
saying that it's as good. I'm just saying that that's what probably replaces it.
We'll
Like, that's
probably
what
replace it
will
in a
people
very
do.
bad quality, right? Like
In a bad way.
in a bad way, or not as like I'll say like that. Those type of the quality difference is like social media being like 10%, and those type of community bondage being at least 90. Not perfect, but at least 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not having religion, I think it's a very, very. You see all these how should I call them? But like big figures that went through like big movements, and like for example, here in America, like Martin Luther King, he was a priest and he moved people through religion. He would preach, and everybody would believe in the God, and we're marching for God, because God is on our side, and he was a preacher and he moved people that way, and in part that helped that movement succeed. Like nowadays, imagine Martin Luther King without the religion.
He was a preacher or a pastor?
A pastor. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right. Imagine that without religion nowadays. You would have to like.
Martin Luther King was a pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
oh,
dumb for saying that aloud. I feel like
Oh.
everybody should know that if he was.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not, and it's you that look dumb.
Yeah. I think I got that right. But without it, then you're gonna have to like convince people like a politician would do nowadays, and it's just through politics and empty words and this and that, and that doesn't motivate the community as much. It does, but it's kind of split.
He
Because,
was a pastor in Alabama.
yeah, because it splits because of a political party. So religion joins people no matter your political party. No matter who you are, it makes a community. But I guess my point is like without religion, then you got politics, like being a leader through politics to get the community together to do something. But that doesn't work because everybody's split into their parties, and it just because even though that leader might be saying the right things, you will not follow him because that's not your leader. So I'm saying like imagine like
He's like
imagine
you're
a
saying
world
it's like a form of leadership that people actually respect.
Yeah, other than
because like government and shit, like people just kind of vote for them, but they don't actually respect them.
as leaders in communities, and when you do look into the community,
That is true,
other
because I
leaders
feel like
are
most
religious
people
leaders.
most people would be more proud to be like, oh, like if you were like a real hardcore Christian, they would probably be more proud to say, oh yes, I am a Christian, before they're like, oh yeah, I'm from Beaver Creek, what up?
Yes.
You know.
Yes, yes. And if a religious person will come out of the nowhere, let's say if we're in Ohio and Arizona, so this preacher comes and just tells the problems that are going on and just makes a movement religiously through God, and I think it would resonate more to somebody here in Ohio, like, oh my God, yeah, he's speaking the word, he's doing this, he's talking about our problems, and somebody
Yeah.
you could trust more than, let's say, a new candidate for the Republicans saying the same problems and this and that. At the end of the day, it will be like politics. He's on the other side of the political party, and it wouldn't be the same. That's why I'm saying, like,
I think it's
religion.
over with. Kinda.
What do you mean?
It just doesn't seem like we're already living in that time. It's just that it's just not gonna happen overnight. Like, for example, people say like, oh, like the more and more time happens, like people is not even gonna like care about religion anymore or whatever.
Okay.
They already don't. It's just not gonna happen overnight. But like seriously, like who do you know? I mean, yes, I know that like if you really try, you can like concentrate and focus and think about somebody that like really puts like religion first and actually like follows the commandment and stuff. Like you're always gonna find that one person. But like when you talk about just like regular life, for every person that you find like that, you find like 90 people that just kind of wake up, live every day, and they might do a prayer or whatever, and maybe they might. People don't act like the Bible says. That's just basically how he works nowadays, I feel like.
Yeah. Think about too, how many people do you know in your circle who has become religious out of nowhere?
Or that are still, even if they haven't become, that are just religious.
No, but I'm
people.
saying, like, what I'm saying is, like, religion is actually dying off, because it's dying off with the generation that really believes it. Like,
yeah.
after my parents, I don't know nobody within my circle that became religious out of nowhere. So it became a new religion. So if he had kids,
I know people that became religious.
Oh, you do?
No, not in America, because in America it's more about like the hustle and the money.
That is true.
But in DR, we hear
Yes.
about people our age
I was gonna input
that they become Christians.
I was gonna input something like that afterwards. In DR, it will be. My mom founded a church over there, and it became the community church. Pretty crazy story. She gifted this empty lot to the church, and they rose a church with the community's help for free.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a church now, like brick and mortar, complete set. And it became so big. I saw it growing every day. That throughout my time of living there, people would just become religious out of nowhere. I would know, like, neighbor two houses down, all of a sudden became a devoted Christian, and he will go to the church every day, and it will be like something progressively like that, and it was normal since like one day it might be you.
Can I also tell you something
But yeah, you don't see that. You don't see that here.
You don't see that here, and you're gonna see that even there. You're gonna see it less and less.
I can see that too.
Because, bro, honestly, think about this. For example, just think about this for a second. Let's say you live in that village still, like you still live in the little village, right?
All right.
And you were just hanging around, right? Like you were just hanging around, living in the little village, no internet, nothing, just the dirt roads, right? Living in the little village with the dirt roads. And then they got this little church going on, bro, and everybody going there. They got music, they dancing.
It's fun.
It's fun, bro. Like you going there,
Yeah,
bro.
those chants.
And there's chicks too. And there's chicks too, bro. Like, bro, like you,
Bro,
like
those chants are fun, you know. There's like they got some rhythm. Everybody singing at the same chorus. And yeah,
bro. And I'm telling you, bro, like people go there and, bro, people go to church and they even get late, bro. Like, like you see that, bro. You ever seen those memes about like? I saw the other day. I saw the other day like the musicians when the when the sisters from the other church come to visit, and it's like all the music. It's like a bunch of kids like playing at a Dominican church, bro. But they're going hard as hell, bro. They're hitting that tambora like.
Make it impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like over there, like
yeah, right?
you know, like especially like in those type of places, it's a little bit easier for people to still like just kind of randomly transform into Christianity because like again, especially if you're just sitting there and all that is going on, why not?
Why not? And they will host 2-3 shows, meetings. I mean, at a week.
Mm-hmm.
You're bound to do at least one of them.
Yeah, and that's also why they say too. A lot of the times, well, that's not the only reason. It's like multiple reasons. But you know, in DR, well, I don't know if it's just DR, but like I know in DR because I grew up there, and people say this a lot. I'm assuming they say this in a lot of places. But you know how they say like, oh yeah, like you know, gay kids they put them in church, and like they always in church the gay kids, and that's why like the priests like become old and they do like all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when they're like pretty young and whatnot.
Like obviously part of that is because it's like, you know, in our religious country, when somebody's like gay, they're gonna make him be like go to church and
change
and
ways.
change, and God is gonna help you and stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times too, that's like a place to hang out, like in the country and stuff like that. That's not like a Yera and shit. If you're not trying to be around like all that, you know what I mean?
It is a place to hang out, something to do.
Yeah, it's like a place to hang out and something to do if you're not trying to do like the ratchet stuff too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you didn't have the church, then if you wanted something to do, then you go to La Gallera or to El Colmadón. Just sit there because the colmados are on 24/7.
Se sienta y a beber cerveza, exacto.
Play dominoes and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but we're losing all that stuff too, and it's crazy because that has a lot of cause. I feel like I seen a lot of people talk about that in like different shows and stuff. Are we losing anything that's like collective, and everything is just about the individual, about yourself, and then everything that's for the collective is just like
And some of these great leaders, I would call them like that. No name comes to mind, but like these guys sometimes are like very successful in life, and they actually have a following and they teach good stuff. You always hear them like having a little bit of God in them. They always say they always like kind of keep that with themselves, like a little bit of God or respecting God, or like God helps, or like you gotta have some religion. I don't know if you follow anybody and like that.
I think I agree, but I also think most people are kind of like that, so it would kind of make sense.
Yeah,
I think it would be different if because I feel like most people, like for example, it's really hard to find somebody who like straight up say they are an atheist.
I know a lot of like scientists and that I follow, and it just, when everything is said and done, it makes sense. But then when you also see like people that are successful and they just have a positive mind about everything, they also attribute it to God too. Yeah. But and what I give to it is like, it's like giving that part of yourself into the unknown and just like trusting something higher than you. Yeah. Like for me, like to be honest, I don't believe like in the Bible, and like because I know it was like edited and
yeah, it's like the prophecy
and all that stuff. But I know there's so much unknown. Like
it's made by prophets. When somebody tells you that it's made by prophet, it literally means that somebody made it up and that you have to believe it, and
that it's been edited
or that it's
been edited by these kings that needed it to get it their way, like King James. Yeah, that's a little side story. But if you look at the vast of the universe, bro, like it just those numbers make you feel so small that there's something, a higher power than you. And I'm not gonna put the word of like Jesus or his father above it. I would just leave it like to the unknown. I know for a fact that you got to be good to people because that is like a life way to live. You got to be good to people. You got to be good to your treat yourself good, your body, your and all these things, and living that way will make you a good man, a good person in life, and good things will happen to you. And that's what I put over everything.
Over religion.
Over religion.
I feel like that's kind of how most.
It's like to me, God would be like the universe. Like that's who.
That's
really,
what a lot of that's what basically the energy movement now is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, God is just energy, this and that. Man, I feel like I kind of agree with you. I feel like like with all the science or whatever that people want to bring up, you cannot really disprove that there is a God. But even though you can definitely disprove a lot of the shit that's on the Bible, so it's like that's obviously that makes it like annoying and hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When there's like factual evidence that like the shit that's on the Bible is literally like just not true, that's annoying. But just because but at the same time, like the Bible itself, like it's made by fucking prophets. Like that's not even a secret. Like I mean, it's literally divided into the prophets, and it's just prophecies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fucking prophecy. It's not like, what is a prophecy? Look at fucking up. But it's just literally something that somebody just thinks about, and they just think that God told them that, and they just write it down.
Yeah.
And that's literally all it is. And the whole faith is supposed to be that if you have faith, you believe that it was really God that talked to these people and made them write this thing. And if you don't, then you believe that these people just kind of made that up, or maybe they didn't even write it at all, and it was just one person that they made up, whatever.
And then you're not saved because you don't have the faith.
Yeah. So anyways, but the thing is that like the Bible just makes it freaking hard, bro. Like the whole like Noah's Ark, bro. Like come on, bro. Like nobody, like what the fuck, bro. Like you cannot expect me to believe that shit.
That amongst other stories.
Honestly, that almost ruined the whole Bible shit. That whole fucking Noah's Ark thing, bro. Like what the fuck, bro. Like
explain, what is that one? So
the Noah's Ark, bro.
The Great Flood and the animals.
Yeah, how literally they mounted a fucking pair of every single living thing that was in this planet Earth in a boat.
And what about cross breeding after that, right?
Bro,
that's also very complicated.
Bro, it's just like clearly
there's something else.
Clearly evolution fucking happened. Like if you don't fucking believe that, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that does not mean that God doesn't exist.
Yeah, and like,
you know what I mean?
That's
the way that I feel. Like that does not mean that, because like what's control? There's a lot of shit that we cannot prove, and that doesn't mean that God is everywhere, that we cannot prove anything. But at the same time, there's nothing that says, like, think about it this way: we can build a little thing for ants, but we have a little bit of a genetic difference with ants.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even that much, even though it's crazy because they're like so different.
At first, yeah.
Yeah, but we have like a little bit of a genetic difference with ants, and because of that, we're so much smarter than them, or like we're so much smarter than them, and we can basically build a little world for them that they wouldn't even know that we built it for them.
Yeah.
And like they could be going about their lives, they could be
they could live and die.
They could live and die and never know that it is a world that you built for them.
Yeah.
Just because you're a little bit, just because we're like slightly smarter than them. It's not like we're like God times smarter than them, because they can walk, they can eat, they can do a lot of the shit that we do. We can just think a little bit better, and that's enough for us to like fucking like build a whole world that they can even.
That plays into like, what if there's somebody who even a little smarter and has us entrapped?
That's kind of what I feel like. What if there's like somebody that's smarter than us that like maybe made us, and like basically like a God, because that's basically what God is, like somebody that's above us, more powerful than us, that basically made us. I don't feel like none of that, like, you know what I mean? Maybe it's not exactly the way that the Bible says, but like it could be a God that's controlling everything, and that it still like wants good things to happen, and maybe that's why like things like karma and all that shit seems so fucking real. I don't know. Even though
like law, universal laws like karma, like you do something wrong is gonna happen to you. It's like that type of like energy itself. It seems to be like what really rules.
Even though I don't believe in that 100%, I feel
I
like a
don't,
lot of
right?
that.
We never know. Yeah,
Yeah,
you never know because you can't really pinpoint it, so we don't know exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
yeah.
But you're one last point I like to put on that and just leave it is like Macy and them are Buddhist
Mm-hmm.
because they're from Asia, right? We are Catholics because we're from here and from the R, and that's Catholic. But if you were born 400 years or whatever time it is, you could have been believing in Zeus as the god, right? Or you could have
Not in 400 years.
something like that.
Well,
Well,
that was
they're
still,
pretty
that was still with
mythological.
Christianity.
You're right. But you know what I mean. Whatever.
but yeah,
time it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
You could have been the Greeks. If you would have been in Egypt, Ra would have been your god.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, depending on where you were located geographically, is who you really were taught up to be. Who was your god? So.
You seen the stand up of the Mexican kid
What's his name?
talking about when they were trying to convert him?
Is that new? Oh,
With
no,
the big
he's
eyes?
not a Mexican guy. I think you're talking about this Asian dude. He said like he was just standing and somebody came up to him. He said, "Have you heard about the word of Christ?"
Yeah.
And he said, "No." Well, if it was something like, "If you don't follow him, you'll go to hell." And then he said like, "Then why you show me?"
Oh no, yeah, he was like, but I live in China. And there's so many people. He was a Chinese guy. You're right.
Yeah.
I live in
right?
China. There's so many people in China that don't know about God. What about them? They're not going to hell? No, because they don't know about God. And he's like, so why do you tell me?
Exactly, man. We're on like at least 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. I think we should wrap it up right there. What do you think?
No, bro, we only 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Oh, so we started at 10?
I guess.
Yeah, but that's a good time then.
Yeah, I think that's good. We
Well-
talk about religion today.
Baseball, Dominicans up. I think we're already winning. We won, 5-2. Rest in peace, Puerto Rico.
Quack, 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 quack.
Thank you for joining, guys. Like and subscribe. That seems to be the everybody says, right? Like and
Episode number
subscribe.
3. At least we did it.
Tune in for episode 4
Coming soon.
coming soon. Thank you very much, guys.
¿Quiénes son los que están allá arriba?
Macy Casey.
No, I feel like more people.
Oh, there's a third person, yeah.
Guiaste, loco.
¿Eh?
Guiaste cuando empezaron eso y después como que no me hice. ¿Qué hice hablando de religión? Y después como se como que, ok, pues está yendo a...
Es un tema sensible para ti, la religión.
No, que estaba faltando el respeto varias veces, como que si no va, oh, like, this shit, or like that shit, o como que nunca dice como que fe de otra persona o religión, como que, tuviste esa mierda, pues esta mierda, que se dan cuenta que estaba como que faltando el respeto, como que diciendo cosas así.
Oh, pero
mental, como-
es que respeto, loco.
Pero yo
la gente
creo
que
en cuanto, o sea, pero ¿a quién darle respeto a qué? ¿A la religión? ¿A uno al otro?
porque todo el mundo tiene su opinión.
Al tema que estábamos hablando, a Dios, como ¿a qué le estamos dando respeto?
Porque si vas a hablar de como que religión o fe, como que hablarlo como que de estudiante, ¿no? Que llega como que decir esto un de cristiano y hace los priests, okay, porque tocan no jodan a los niños, like, está pintándolo como que se engraña cara como si
No, yo creo que ya
Tirando
nosotros estamos bien, como porque la...
no era tan presentable como que super like it
Of
could have been
course,
better.
bro,
it
Lo
could have been
presentamos
better.
muy mal.
It could have been better. No, hablarlo no todo sentido, pero como like loco, o sea, están como que nada sin pensarlo, como dar varios comentarios esto y el otro, como que
En verdad nosotros
this
estamos
shit, that
tirando.
shit, o como que está como cagando encima de varios de los opiniones que
Nah, yo creo como que es una opinión que mucha gente la dice y si así que yo me siento, así que... ¿ah? Porque y si digamos tú tienes un photo...
it's not
así,
talking
por
about like
más
all of
respeto,
like
then I will respect
a
your
faith of
opinion.
like Christians or Catholics. Está como que like evangelicals, a lot of these extremists will do that, like don't do this, you're gonna burn in hell. Like that's why
Yeah,
so
son
no
mucha
es
gente que
verdad,
hacen
it's like
eso.
Oh, I'm just talking about the way that I was raised.
es que están
Me
como que
too.
más sí como que para punishing over fear, cuando no es miedo, es por amor,
Pero eso
es
mucha,
por cariño,
mucha
no amor.
religión es así, right? That's why we're saying that.
Oh, that's all lo que tú dijiste, perdón.
Sí, pero muchas cosas es así que le crecen y si esa es tu experiencia, then mi experiencia fue esa como que actually yo tenía como
Podemos decir más en mi experiencia. So that
I
it
guess,
doesn't
yeah.
sound like you're generalizing.
Es normal, así
porque
mismo como que...
al final del día es tu opinión personal.
Pero básicamente la pintura era como que cagando encima de lo que... porque this bullshit, te van como que siempre como que para...
se podía así, pero yo como cuando ya expresamos exactamente
afuera de la envuelta, afuera de como la envuelta de la...
lo positivo que trae
sí,
la
porque-
religión también.
Estaba yendo de otra manera, como like, ya lo estaba básicamente pintándolo, como cagando encima de que... like, por ejemplo, la Biblia, you don't take Bibles like strictly serious, otherwise if you rob something, you cut off your arm. No es verdad, hay cuentos. Son cuentos. Y ahí tú tomas...
Es una buena opinión
Sí,
que tú
porque
podías poner.
era para bajarle, porque the Bible was like...
Yeah, but
yo
that
no te quise
depends.
poner...
But that depends, bro, because you could say that that's a cuento, but that's not really a cuento, nigga. In the end, they used to fucking chop niggas' heads off when they stole.
Por eso...
It's based on the religion.
Y que
No, no,
It is
no,
literally
no.
based on the religion.
And what's happening in the Middle East right now?
Estoy
If you go
diciendo,
ahead and
por
disrespect
eso,
the Bible, you
porque
get
por
your head
eso,
shot off.
porque por eso, hasta like mi tío antes, su tío iba a ser un priest en ese mundo, ¿verdad? El punto, si tú hablaras con mi tío, porque he was a theologian, estudiara varios, lo viene de un fondo de educación, sabes que los libros así mismo, los Torah, que tú no hablas de Torah, si tú caes encima de Torah, es que estás faltando el respeto, o varias disciplinas. El punto es que no tomas el libro en exacto como que strictly, because you go crazy. Hay lecciones
That's
a
true.
través de la
Y la persona que en verdad
Pero
se sientan
¿quién-
a estudiar el libro
¿Quién te castiga más?
y lo dice bien y lo hace bien,
Pero
explican una
el
cosa
punto
correcta.
es que
pero el
¿quién-
mundo está totalmente
Pero no, pero están yendo
en su
medio,
papel
estaba yendo medio
perfecto.
atrás manos, like, loco, no, porque estaba...
Ahorita viene eso en el podcast, mamá huevo. Ahora quiere alguna conversación interesante.
¿Por qué no? Porque
ahora viene con todos los puntos interesantes.
Porque
Ahora,
le va a poner- porque
era
le va-
ahí.
porque le va a
Dice,
poner-
cuando me paguen lo digo en el podcast.
No, porque la ponen en internet y como
Bueno.
that's like, just what we put up online on the internet, it's more just so like, normal.
¿Eh?
¿Se puede conectar?
¿El qué?
Y entonces,